And we return. So now, we can look at where the ending took us. And you already want back out. Of course you did. Well, go on. You didn't want out. Make up your mind, cat. Make up your mind. Apparently you did get bored, yes. What happened? So, how do we actually get to the good ending? The one solitary actual good ending? Well, it involves running the game twice. And both times you have to take a very specific path through the game. It isn't enough to just go in the right door at the end. You've got to pick the right series of doors. That's the only way to get there. And you guys actually came really, really close to getting the first half of it on the very first run we actually had. So, how do we get to where we need to go? Well, we're going to have to repeat a whole bunch of puzzles that we've already seen. And sadly, the first set involves the room I hate the most. So let's go ahead and just jump straight to the first decision point.
I thought we were finished with that topic.
So it really doesn't matter what we answer here.
3. It'd be 3. That means there's no way we... Wait. Something's off. 8 plus 3 plus the digital root of 22. 2 plus 2 equals 4.
So, to get the first ending, we first need to go through door 5. Much like we did when we first, started the game. And since we've already seen here, we can skip right through all the text. We just have to get through the puzzles. You know how this works.
And it's open.
Come on. And, of course, the cat's going to do that right now. Your favorite first ending to get is the axe. Okay, so just to speed through everything here a little bit, let's see if I can remember. I can remember where everything is. That's...
What's wrong?
I heard something.
Something strange.
Ah, well. I don't wish to toot my... I notice even the slightest of noises.
Uh-huh. Blah, blah, blah. And now the cat wants out. And only stuck around to do what he had to do. Fair enough. What else are you exploring? You're exploring. There was the vase. There it is. Score plate. There we go. We need to actually look at the safe here. Yeah, if people know what to do, why aren't they doing it themselves? Okay.
Hey, son.
Yeah, what the heck? First memory. Oh, I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs.
Yeah, we've heard all this before. Now, if I can remember what I need to do here. There we go. And the lock is open. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Another hallway? Hmm?
Yeah, let's see. We should be able to skip through this too. Okay, let's just grab the cards. See, how many more cards do I need? Can't do that till I solve that. Can't do that till I solve this. Club, diamond, heart. Unfortunately, I think we have to have two machines jam every time we do this. Nah, nah, nah. Okay. Yeah, we've heard all the bit about Baccarat before. Blah, 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 blah. Take 9, open door. And once again, we have seen all of this. But we cannot get the ending without running through it all. Got to go through this whole thing with the reds missing all over again. Everybody has their little joyous reunion. We talk about how the ninth man was splattered. We talk about how this is possibly the sister ship to the Titanic. Sure are a lot of words for a game. And Snake's missing. It doesn't matter. The long, drawn-out search for Snake. That eats away all the precious time. More metal creaking as we speed through all the text. As Ace drugs himself. Make our job easier. And now we actually have to choose door 8 to continue on down the right path. Door 7 and door 3, we've seen the results after choosing door 5, basically. They don't get us where we need to go. However, most of the text up until door 8, and probably a good bit of text inside door 8, is all going to be repeats. What happens after that should not be. And off to the lab with us. Hello, science boy. It's been too long. Gotta look at everything. Yeah, I've missed Science Boy. Da-da. Connector. And combine that. Yep, it is Science Boy Puzzle. The best character in the game! And Lotus will type even faster now.
What kind of job do you have? What are you?
You know we've seen this before, right?
I'm unemployed at the moment.
Oh yeah, this is one of the things that have changed now.
I used to work for a cybersecurity firm, but I quit.
Why?
Lotus blinked.
Huh? Oh, it was just something.
She stopped typing for a moment and her face fell.
I see.
This was not an avenue of questioning to be pursued, Junpei realized, and quickly shut his mouth. Lotus's fingers began to move again, and in a few seconds she was back up to speed. As she typed, more letters and symbols that meant nothing to Junpei began to pour across the screen.
Oh, what are you doing now?
I'm going to try and brute force it.
Brute what?
A brute force attack is... Well, the short version is that I just attack the thing head on. The long version?
Without looking up or slowing down, she began to explain.
A brute force attack is one of the simplest ways to break a cipher. It checks every possible combination until it finds the right one. For a complex cipher, it can take a very long time. I'm writing a program that would run an attack like that on its own. It's not the most elegant solution, certainly. But given the circumstances, there isn't much else I can do.
Even as she talked, her fingers never slowed or missed a key. Junpei couldn't help but feel a little odd.
Oh, but back to what we were talking about earlier.
What were we talking about?
The wireless display. It's kind of strange if you think about it, isn't it? How do I put it? Well, let's say you write a program that calculates an addition problem for you, all right? So you enter 1 plus 1. The screen will show you 2. See? Isn't that strange?
No? Not really.
Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago. You're just not getting it, are you? Who calculated 1 plus 1?
The main computer, right? You said it connected to the monitor wirelessly.
Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right? They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating. And once they've decided that, they'll start examining this monitor. They might poke the screen or something.
Or the box.
Ah, I see the color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Oh, I see. So this wire supplies the power. Eventually, they might even cut the wires. Ah, yes. Just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear. Therefore, it must be this device which does the calculations.
Hotel Wi-Fi renewal, huh?
Oh.
But the truth is that, just like you said, the computer is doing the calculating. But these cave people wouldn't know that, because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
Lotus continued to type. Junpei scratched his head.
So, what are you trying to say?
Nothing, really. It's just, I thought maybe, what if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that?
Huh?
Well, let's say you stick a bunch of electrodes into parts of the brain. A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting. So stimulating this part of the brain causes the person to see colors. That must mean this neuron cluster controls that function. Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease. Therefore, human thought processes must occur in the human brain. See? Doesn't it sound the same? Maybe the brain is just an output device, like this monitor. Maybe our thought processes actually occur somewhere else, in a main body.
We're going all Matrix here.
We just don't know it. We never even think about it. Just like those cave people wouldn't know about wireless communications. We can't imagine that there's some unknown medium that transfers information into our brains, where we experience that information as thoughts.
Junpei didn't say anything. Not so much because he had no retort. No, her argument just seemed silly, and he was a little surprised to be hearing something like that from someone like her.
The brain is just an output device. Human thought actually occurs somewhere else.
That's just crazy talk.
Did Lotus really think that, he wondered. It was a little creepy, Junpei thought. It sounded altogether too much like a bizarre cultish religion.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia.
Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued.
If memory is actually stored somewhere else, in some sort of main body somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all. He's just having a difficult time accessing his memories because the monitor, his brain, has been damaged.
Huh.
Yeah, Wi-Fi Brain would be a cool band name.
I suppose that would explain aphasia and blindsight, too. Perhaps they actually can't speak or see. The monitor just isn't functioning properly. I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing.
Wait a minute. What?
He knew what aphasia is from watching medical dramas on TV, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but he'd never heard the word prosopagnosia before.
What? You've never heard of prosopagnosia?
Just like you'd never heard of the Funyurinpa. Lotus spun around in her chair to look at him. Junpei just shrugged and shook his head.
No, what is it?
Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours. So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to. Usually they can make do by associating people with other things. Their voices, their clothes, their hair.
Does that mean other people's faces look like blanks?
No, I don't think so. Well, you've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right? To you and me, all the monkey faces look the same. Even though they've obviously got faces, it's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that works with them would learn to identify different monkeys eventually, but you or I couldn't unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart. Well, that's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia.
Prosopagnosia. Huh. I didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
This is a very real thing. Yes.
And, what were we talking about?
The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor.
Are you serious about that stuff?
Not really. I was just kidding for about half of it.
What about the other half?
Well, I guess I was just adulting.
Not funny.
Yes, it is. Lotus's smile had something rather masochistic to it.
It's nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Don't take it seriously.
Although it is kind of an interesting theory to think about.
It was the first thing that came to mind, and I just talked about it to kill time. But, looks like I don't need to talk anymore.
Why?
I don't have to kill time any longer.
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high and brought it down on the enter key.
Oh, then you finished that brute whatever thing?
I certainly did. And let's see what we got.
Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, and then a line of numbers appeared, blinked, and disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted.
Piece of cake.
Lotus would clearly have patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous. After a few seconds, the accepted disappeared to be replaced with the Magic Square puzzle.
The screen changed again.
Well, lights
What
out.
the hell is that?
Magic Square is the other room.
No idea.
Suddenly, Lotus stood up.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
No, I can't do anymore. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing. So, there's nothing more I can do. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
Let me take a break, all right? I did my part.
Well...
He wasn't sure what to say to that. She certainly had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. Shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself.
I guess you're right. Thanks, Lotus.
No problem. And make sure you know when you should thank people.
Now, I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
I wanted to ask you something.
Hmm?
Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right? Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Huh?
Why is she asking me this? Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Snake had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course she would have been worried about him.
Well, let me think.
He thought back to when he'd gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small something, that would help her. However...
Sorry, Clover. I can't really think of anything. I mean, he did mention that his hearing exceeds that of a regular person, or something like that, but that's about it.
Okay.
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away.
Hey, wait a minute. Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but if you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, is Snake, was he born...
You're talking about his eyes?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't born blind. When he was a kid, he got in an accident. A really bad car accident. He couldn't see after that. And his arm.
His arm?
Yeah. My brother's left arm is... it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm.
That seems important.
The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm.
Oh.
Is that all you wanted to ask me?
Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out of Clover. Junpei nodded.
Look, I'm sorry for making you talk about all that painful stuff.
It's not that.
Clover only shook her head and walked off down the stairs. I guess I could have her go ahead and wipe off the... I forgot where I got the cloth from. There it is. Not that we need this or anything, but you know. The puzzle we already solved, okay. Max voltage all over again. Goodbye, science boy. We'll miss you. We had to kill Science Boy all over again. And once again, we're out.